Um, Thank you. And sorry about the technical hiccup. I think that happens to the best of us. Quick story. I was presenting to a group of managers when I was working at the FEI system, and my computer, we did a test run and it worked. So during the proper presentation, everything went haywire and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. So I'm saying this just to say, Miss Pam, you had everything under control, and your phone was ringing left to right. I was really surprised that you were able to handle the stress.
Oh, I didn't handle it. I'm not handling it real well. Trust and believe. Some people going to hear about it that ain't
It
going
was
to feel
well.
like I handled it well. So, but we're here, and we get the gist of what we're doing and how we're moving forward, and we can get referrals from the people who are on here and get to start with the good information given. And even if we have to do it again by recording it, it will be out there. So you might say, look at this video before you get started. How about that?
Yes, absolutely. Once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Philip Ndeska. I've been in the financial services industry for over 8 years now. Prior to joining the financial services industry, I used to work in the IT field. I worked as a database administrator, program manager, program director, Scrum Master, Agile coach before I left the corporate world. I've been helping families and businesses learn how money work and how to properly plan for the future. So our goal today is to share some information, whether you're a business owner or, just an individual getting started. We want to make sure that you learn some of the strategies to get you properly positioned. Because when we look in our community today, there are too many challenges, especially um, when it comes to individuals managing debt, planning for retirement, ensuring that your kids' college fund is properly arranged, or just making sure that for retirement they are properly positioned. We see it every single day. We have 55 to 66 years old who are not ready for retirement. We have a lot of young people that are, getting into debt at an alarming rate. So our goal is to be able to educate people so that they can avoid making some of those mistakes. And who we are Well Financial Group, and our team is called Well System Builder. So Transamerica is a parent company of Well Financial Group, and it's owned by Aegon, which is in the Netherlands. And we have been in business, I think, almost 32 years today. And we've been helping families, helping businesses properly position themselves. And how do we get to do this? We bring to people the power of choice. On our platform, we have more than 200 different companies that we partner with. Since we are fiduciaries, when we work with people, we make sure that before we make any recommendations of our own strategies or solutions, it has to be suitable and also affordable for them. So since our platform, we have the distribution power. Most of the companies will work with our top A plus rated companies. And we ensure that we help people properly prepare for the journey that they have ahead, whether it's around ensuring that you're properly positioned for retirement, college fund, getting out of debt, estate preservation planning, whatever the financial goal is, we help people position them. And for a company, we are currently in a national financial literacy campaign. Our goal is to help educate 30 million families by 2030. And we truly believe that financial literacy is not an option, it is truly a necessity, especially today with high inflation, a lot of misinformation, and also people not even wanting to learn. So, as a disclaimer, what we'll be presenting today, I don't want you to regard this, as any tax advice or legal or, for us trying to promote or trying to sell anything. Our goal is just to ensure that we educate you. And representatives of World Financial Group and employees, we don't give legal or tax advice. We properly educate you. For any tax advice, we encourage you sit with your CPA, ensure that whatever strategy that you want to implement, it aligns with, your goals. So for our agenda today, I want to begin with an overview of, what we call financial foundation. When we work with people, the goal is to make sure that they understand how to build a proper financial foundation. So we meet you at the point where you are. And when we look at the ideal structure, the first thing we want to start with is proper protection. So when we meet with you, we make sure that um, we address you at the level that you are. Make sure that we don't recommend something that doesn't make sense to you. So when it comes to proper protection, the goal is to make sure that you have at least 10 times your annual income in protection. What do we mean by that? Life insurance coverage. So, God forbid if you're called too soon, your family has that life insurance that will ensure that they are taken care of for at least the next 10 years. That is good enough time for them to adjust from a financial standpoint. Then, when it comes to debt management, the goal is to get to the $0 mark. For most people today, they're advocating for leveraging other people's money. It's a great, tool to be able to build assets. But too many people today, they're making the mistakes of getting into debt without even knowing how to properly manage a $5,000 credit card. So we see that debt continues to spiral out of control. And when it comes to emergency fund, what we educate people on is to have at least 6 to 12 months of emergency saved up. We saw what COVID did. COVID, a lot of people for a year they could not work. So if they had emergency fund just for 2 months, they found themselves in a state of, confusion. And when it comes to investment, we want to make sure we have at least 20 times our annual income in investments so it can help us, whether it's for retirement purposes, to last for the entire period that we are in retirement. Because what we are seeing today, a lot of retirees are running out of money too soon. And when it comes to building, or investing and having money grow, there is what we call the rule of 72. Most people don't understand how money grows. The rule of 72 addresses compound interest. It shows you approximately how, compound interest will affect the ability for your money to grow. So when you take 72, you divide it by the rate of return, it will tell you how many years it takes for your money to double. And for, anyone who knows Albert Einstein, he came up with this. So if we look at this example, say if you're putting money in a place where you earn 4%, we take 72, we divide it by 4, it will take 18 years for your money to double. So take, for example, if you're saving at the bank and the bank is giving you 1% interest. So if you take $10,000 today, you put it in the bank, it will take 72 years for that money to double in the bank. So when we have this kind of understanding, it directs us on where can we put our money where our money can truly work, right? And in the next example, we see different interest rate. How will it impact the ability for your money to grow? If you're investing your money in a place where you earn 6%, that money will double in 12 years. If you're putting it in a place where you earn 8%, the money will double in 9 years. And also, if it's earning 10% interest, the money will double in 7.2 years. In this hypothetical example, we have just $10,000 with 6% interest. By the time the person is 36, they have $81,000. With 8%, they have over $159,000. And with 10%, we see that they have over $309,000. With this understanding, you see that knowing where to save and how to save is of utmost importance. Because if you're putting money where you're earning 1%, how long will it take for your money to truly grow? We educate people on simple versus compound interest. How does it impact your ability for your money to truly grow and start working for you? In this also simple example, we see started with $100,000 in first year for simple interest. By the time this person is 40, they have just $500,000. But the person that is investing in a place where he earns compound interest, they have over $4.5 million. The question that comes to you is, would you rather be in a place where you have $500,000 or $4.5 million? This is where financial literacy plays a key role to ensure that we're doing the right thing and putting money in the right place. And what about taxes? A lot of us, we are contributing and putting money in a place where we'll continuously get taxed for the rest of our lives. Or when we get to the age when we want to pull money, take for example in a 401k or 403b, TSP, IRA, we will have to pay taxes down the road. For a lot of people, they really don't know that there is a tax burden that's waiting for them down the road. So we educate people so they will not just understand only the tax bracket, but they know what kind of bucket and what will be the tax impact where they put the money. And I always encourage people to think of their income as a table. Think of it. If you have just one source of income, what happens if you get sick, if you're not able to work, right? How would that impact you? How will you be able to sustain the same lifestyle for you and your family? And we always encourage people, you must have multiple, streams of income to ensure that if, God forbid, maybe you come down or maybe the business is shut down for whatever reason, you have other things that you can fall back on and help ensure that you can still maintain a lifestyle. And when we talk about taxes, we must ensure that we reduce the impact of taxes because taxes have a big impact, in our abilities to save money. Good thing in the US is we have three different buckets that IRS allows people to contribute into. The first, we have what we call the tax now bucket, where, just a moment, someone said something. Okay. So we have three different buckets where we can put money. The first we call tax now. This is your checking account, savings account, CDs, mutual funds, and so on and so forth. So you will continue to pay taxes on this account every year. So for example, in your checking account, if they give you that small interest, they will send you a 1099 form for you to pay taxes on. Or if mutual funds, any capital gains or you make any trade, you have to pay taxes on that for the rest of your life, every single year. In tax later accounts or tax deferred, this is those retirement accounts that you usually have from your job. For example, 401k, 403b, IRAs, annuity or pension. You don't pay taxes on these accounts now because in this account, the contribution is pre-tax dollars. So when it comes to when you get to collect this, for most of them, they will have, an age limitation. So if you're not 59 and a half, you go to make an early collection, they will hit you with a 10% penalty, and also you'll be liable for taxes. So if you're the 22% tax bracket, you end up losing 32% if you go to withdraw money from this account. And it doesn't end there. For example, in your 401k, by the time you turn 72 and a half, there is what they call required minimum distribution. So if the government will let you know how much you must pull out from this account. Take for a hypothetical example, they ask you to pull $100,000 and you only spend just $50,000, they will hit you with a 50% penalty. So the $50,000 that is left, you stand to lose $25,000 just through penalty. So these are some of the things that we ensure that people are aware as they go to plan for their retirement, where they plan for their retirement, where they put money for retirement. And when it comes to tax advantage vehicles, we have things like Roth IRAs, 529 college savings plans, cash value life insurance policies, health savings accounts. These are some of the accounts that we encourage people to ensure that they start leveraging it to get them to the 0% tax bracket. And I always say this, there is nothing wrong with having money in any of the three different buckets, but you have to understand what will be the tax implication when it comes to this account. And to truly build wealth, we also teach people the wealth formula. And what is a wealth formula? We've taken time to understand that wealth is a mathematical problem. The first thing, we must have money, and the amount of time that we'll have will impact how much our money will grow. Also, the rate of return. The higher the rate of return, the faster the money will grow, and then the lower the rate of return, the longer it will take for our money to grow. Then we must factor inflation because inflation takes brings down our purchasing power. Take, for example, a loaf of bread, you know, 5, 10 years ago wasn't up to $2 or $3. But today, go to Wegmans or Whole Food, you're seeing bread almost $9 for some of this bread. And sometimes I wonder, like, what are they baking the the bread with these days, right? And then we also have to factor in taxes because we have to pay tax. And one thing I know for sure is money doesn't grow on trees. We must put in the time to work. So let's see how this world formula work in real life. So let's say if you save $100 and you gain 4% in interest, that is $4. And if you're taxed at 25% tax bracket, federal and state, you lose $1. The net after tax is $103. And if we have inflation of 3%, that brings that $100 back to 100, that 103 back to $100. So when you get to save, you want to make sure that wherever you're putting your money, you're earning more than 4%, so that you can truly not just be running in the same circle, but you can truly have your money grow. The true question is, are you gaining or losing wherever you're putting money? One thing that we've come to understand is wealth, we have three different phases, and most people will lose money between the accumulation and distribution phase. And a lot of times people don't even, take the time to ensure that they start putting money during the accumulation phase. A lot of people are caught up with just living life. They don't plan for, the future. So most often, a lot of people are also not aware, of the available options that will help them achieve the goal that they're looking for. When it comes to the accumulation phase, this is when we start working, especially in our early years, and start building up. Distribution phase is when we start drawing down on all that we have accumulated to take care of us for retirement. And then estate transfer is when, we're ready to pass on all the things that we've built over the years to the people we care about. So we have what we call the savings calculator that, I'll send the slide out. You can click on that. It will take you to a page where you'll be able to calculate how much, at what age you are to attain the goal. Let's say if your goal is to have $1 million by the time you retire, whatever your retirement ideal age is, it will let you know. Say if you're earning 8% as an example, how much do you need to contribute every single month to help you attain that goal, and at what interest rate? And when it comes to, businesses, we ensure that when we work with businesses, we find ways to make sure that the business continuation is part of the planning process. Because too many businesses, they don't ask themselves some of these really pertinent questions. Like, what will happen to your business when you retire? Whether it's to your business or your family? And do you have a business successor lineup? Will your entire business or a share of your business need to be sold? Yesterday we were at this Indian restaurant, and the owner was asking me if I wanted to buy the restaurant. I said, but I thought this business is really profitable. He said, yes, but I'm tired of doing this. There are a lot of people who did not plan on how do they get out from that business down the road, right? And what would truly be the consequences to your business, the partners, employees, if something were to happen to you? These are questions that we ensure that we sit with business owners and ensure they can answer them. And when it comes to business planning strategies, we encourage the use of life insurance, whether it's around leveraging life insurance for key person or a buy-sell agreement. If you're in partnership with someone, you guys own the business together, you want to make sure that you have a buy-sell agreement. God forbid, one of the partner was to pass away, at least there'll be money that will be provided to ensure that the partner's family can be, the share of their business can be bought out. Because we see a lot of times family members who don't even know how the business is running, when their loved one pass away, they want to come in and have a managerial position where they don't even know how the business runs. So this can ensure that interest of that person can be bought out, and the family can have good enough amount to take care of themselves. Then one thing we've noticed is a lot of business owners, they don't pay themselves. So we show them strategies leveraging the executive bonus plan to help ensure that they are paying themselves through the business. While they leverage this, it helps them to bring down their tax burden and also ensure that if something were to happen, they have a fallback plan in place. We also teach and educate businesses on how to leverage non-qualified deferred compensation plans to ensure that it helps retain those key employees or top executives for the business. So I want to show a simple example where I'll bring my colleague, Ms. Pauline, to talk about an executive bonus plan, which is through the IRS Section 162, where business owners can leverage this, have the business pay them, and that can, help reduce the overall tax burden. So, Ms. Pauline, if you're ready, I'll pull you in so you can talk about this.
All righty. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a lovely morning. So basically what we're looking at here is an executive bonus plan for, we call this person John Doe. So basically what it is we're looking at a bonus of about $100,000. So his company is ABC Corp, and his taxable income is $350,000, right? And the tax due on that is $113.50, right? Now his personal taxable income is $75,000, right? And his tax liability as an individual and as the owner is $15,495, right? That means that as the owner, John has pre-bonus money of 59,505. So when you calculate the total tax due between the tax owner and the company is $128,545. Next slide, please. So what we do is to put in the bonus, we look at it from this perspective. Instead of his liability being $350,000, it's now going to go down to $250,000. I'm sorry, his income. It now goes down to $250,000, which means that the tax liability goes to $79,294, right? Now, that 100,000 from the 350 now is sent and given as a bonus to John Doe. So his taxable income, instead of being only $75,000, it now becomes 175,000, right? And that takes his tax liability to $55,505. So after the bonus, the disposable income for the owner is now $134,799, whereas the total taxable amount that is due is $119,495. Next slide, please. Thank you. So basically what we're looking at with this executive bonus plan that we've done, we've reduced the taxes by $9,000, but we've taken $75,000, $294, and put back into the business, right? And this is something that can go on in the following years. So by averaging a $1 million to a $5 million index universal life insurance policy that also has cash value living benefits, the corporate tax dropped from $113,050 to $79,294, whereas the disposable income assets increased from $59,505 to $119,495. I hope this is a good example that has been able to kind of show you some of the numbers of what it is that some of these strategies we have in place for you. Once again, thank you for giving me your time. I'm looking forward to continue working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pauline. So one of the things that I always talk to people is that life is truly all about choices. When we look at the two pictures, these are people who are almost the same age, right? One is at the bench, they have nothing going for themselves. And another one, they're having a really, I don't know if it's Mediterranean or whatever kind of breakfast, but we see the stark difference between the two. And the question that comes down is, are we ready for retirement? A lot of business owners, we don't have any retirement plan. There's no 401k, 403b because we are self-employed, right? So what are your retirement goals? How do you want to how do you envision spending your time? Do you have any pension annuities or other sources of retirement income? Right. And do you have any plans for leaving a legacy to your loved ones? So these are very pertinent questions that we must not just ask ourselves, but take the steps necessary to ensure that we have a plan in place that will cover our bases. Because most often we see a lot of business owners at the old age, they don't have anyone to take over the business. And sometimes it becomes really challenging for them to retire comfortably. So when it comes to saving for retirement, what do you have and how much do you know about it? Do you understand, the intricacies of a 401k or 403b, 457? Are you truly saving or are you just spending? What will be your Social Security income? Do you know when you're supposed to start collecting on Social Security? And if you collect too early, what will be the implications? So these are some of the things that we sit down with people and make sure that they are not just educated, but they have a plan in place to ensure that they can build a beautiful retirement. And for you to be able to calculate your goals, take for example, if you need to have $1 million by age 65, how much do you truly need to save? And what interest rate? In this example, say you need $1 million at age 25, if you're earning 8% interest, you need to save just $286.44 cents a month. At age 35, we see it goes up to $670. At age 45, it goes up to over $1,600. So when we look at this, we see that time is of the essence. A lot of people continue to procrastinate and not take the necessary actions. So for you to understand your own goal, or if you wanted to come up with a goal for yourself at what age, since we didn't cover every age group, please, you can scan the barcode. It will take you to the savings calculator. So you'll be able to calculate, say, if my goal is maybe $1 million or $2 million, whether it's 65 or 70 or 50 years or 55, whatever your goal is, you will be able to know how much do you need to save every single month and at what interest rate to help you attain that goal, right? And what about estate planning? Have you named beneficiaries for, retirement accounts that you have? If not, what are you waiting for, right? What about your life insurance policies? What about the assets you have? And do you have a will? Have you set up a trust? If not, if something happens, how do you ensure that, you'll not be sued? And even if you're sued, how do you protect your overall estate? And have you identified all of your assets and liabilities and how they will all be distributed? God forbid you're called too soon. We know a lot of people who passed away and their family are left in a state of, total confusion because number one, they didn't have a will. And we ensure that people would not just understand this, but they plan accordingly because probate is an expensive process. Most people are still in court today trying to, fight through the probate process, paying a lot of attorney fees for something that it would have taken just, a couple of, say maybe 30 minutes to finalize on it, right? Let me go back to the calculator. So this is the barcode. You can scan it with your phone and it will take you there. But we'll be sending the slides and the links are in the slides, just so you can have it handy. Okay. So this is some, questions for us to be able, well, not necessarily questions, just to give you an understanding of which of the, following financial portfolio, they will mandate you having a beneficiary and also ensure that they bypass the probate process. So when it comes to checking account, it doesn't mandate you to have a beneficiary, but I encourage people to, when you go to the bank, ask them for a transfer upon death or a paid upon death document. So God forbid you're called too soon, that account can be paid to the person that you care about or the person you want to receive, the money in that account. And savings account, the same thing. Or CD, it doesn't mandate you to have a beneficiary. Your 401k, 403b, IRAs, you know, Roth IRAs, stock, Bitcoins, they don't mandate you to have a beneficiary. Index annuities account, like fixed index annuity, you must have a beneficiary. When it comes to life insurance, you must have a beneficiary. And for a bond, it doesn't warrant you to have any beneficiary. So that gets pulled into the probate process. And then 529 college savings plan, those also, they will be pulled into the probate process. So I want to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity today. This contact information, you can scan the barcode. It will take you right to our contact page where you can reach out to us if you have any questions or you wanted us to just sit down with you, do a financial needs analysis, and everything we do is complimentary, right? We don't charge for our services. So on that note, I want to thank everyone for the wonderful opportunity today. Please, if you have any questions, I'll be very, very happy to take them. If not,
Hello,
Ms. Pam, yes.
this is Pam. I wanted to thank everybody for coming and forgive us for our hiccup in the beginning. And I wanted to, we did record it and we will send out a link for that record as well as as Pauline said, the slides will be available. So we will be doing more of these kind of, we'll be doing more of these kind of, so we'll be doing more of these kind of events because financial literacy is like a John Hope Bryan, he wrote the book that said that we didn't get the memo as folks, we did not get the memo. So we're helping in that effort to get the memo out and how to do this. As a business owner for well over now 30 years, a lot of the stuff that I just didn't know. I didn't know that I didn't know. And when I'm working with my clients now, and they're trying to find money for their businesses and there's different ways through the type of financial information you get and can learn to use it rather than going to a bank and being denied or telling you, oh, family and friends. I don't know how many times I heard that over the 40 years I've been in business. But that's why we only ones that can take care of this is us. So we have to be sure we know. We don't want to have more generations that are illiterate financially. So it starts with us. So I want to thank Philip and Pauline for sharing the information. Like I said, we'll be sharing more of this information over the next few months.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pam.
John, I see your hand up.
Hi guys, John here. I'm part of Pamela's team. Just want to thank Philip and Pauline. Sorry for the hiccups at the first. I want to let you know as well that you guys are very lucky to have these kinds of access because I'm from the Philippines and we barely have access to these kind of things. And if you have some questions as well, having a hard time reaching out Philip or Pauline, you can email Press CEO. You can email us and then we'll reach out to them and then we'll connect you overall. So we'll be having lunch and learn. We'll be having a lot of things moving forward. So I'll be sending more details to you guys. So for those who has a question, please feel free. And yeah, thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I'll go ahead and pose the question. How do you join the Southern Maryland Minority Chamber of Commerce?
Well,
Not
you go
that
to,
I don't know, being that I'm the CTO, but I'd like to have that question answered.
and we'll just drop that, drop the in the chat, the Southern Maryland Chamber, SMMCOC.org, and it'll be join the chamber.
Thank you. I encourage everyone to please join the chamber. The membership is a very valuable tool to you, and to have access to these type of training programs will also lend to your credibility as a business owner. So join the chamber, become part of us.
And what I want to say is the chamber started as the Black Chamber of Commerce. As time changed, the name changed. So the legal name is still the Black Chamber of Commerce. The doing business name is the Southern Maryland Minority Chamber of Commerce. And how I identify the minorities is not just ethnic minorities or women, but we also welcome in vets in that kind of thing. We want to support, really, that's the underserved community, people who need the help. And that's where we're moving forward with. And Edsel Brown, my chairman of my board, is on the call. And we're looking forward to doing some really interesting and exciting things moving forward.
If I may, Pam, I just got back from the post-legislative breakfast for the Calvert Chamber of Commerce. And again, I just want to echo what Pam and what Sam have been saying. The Southern Maryland Minority Chamber is on the move. And as you can see from programs like this, we're really looking to assist and help with the development of our small businesses here in Southern Maryland. And we would love for you to become a part of it. The whole is only good as the sum of the parts. So we're reaching out to you, and I wish everybody a great afternoon.
Okay. We also want to let you know also is you don't have to choose between the minority chamber and the majority chambers around us. Like I said, we cover Charles, Calvert, St. Mary's, Southern Prince George's. We are a very collaborative organization, and we're working with all the chambers, all the economic development, and making sure that the resources are out there for you. We're trying to do is catch the people who fall through the slots.
My
So,
apologies, Madam President. We had a question from Amaka. I believe it was regarding wills. She would like to have answers.
Say again, Sam.
I'll go ahead and read it in the chat. There was a question that was posed by our guest, Mr. and Miss Amaka there. It says, do wills have to be registered in the state?
Not necessarily, but I'll usually say based on the situation, but I don't think it's a necessity. And Miss Amaka, I think the name I know is a lady.
It's a clarifying. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So with a will and also a trust, depending on the state you're in, we work with our attorneys that we have to be able to properly set you up, answer those really pertinent questions. So that's not my domain of expertise, but we have legal team that we work with who will help answer all your questions, and we have complimentary calls with them. So you'll be on the Zoom, they'll be able to properly answer all your questions, and there's no obligation to you to do anything, but just to have the clarity. And if you choose so, then we move forward to set up a plan with you.
I can give a comment. I'm not an
Mhm.
expert either.
Yeah.
When me and my husband did our will, last testament and whatnot, what we did is, because I'm thinking if I go first, he's not gonna know where anything is. So I filed it with the court system just for that purpose, and letting anybody that would be here to support him, like my sister and my family, that let them know that the will is at the courthouse. That was why we did it. But no, it wasn't a requirement. But in the state here in Southern Maryland, it was a requirement.
If I may, this is Etzel. I'm an attorney myself, but let me point out that I don't practice in that area. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is, your will is part of an overall estate planning approach. And you need to meet with either a financial planner that has specialty in estate planning or someone of that nature. Or if you retain an attorney, you want to make sure that that attorney focuses on estate planning and wills and is not somebody just does a little bit of everything, because if you do that, you're not getting a person with expertise. You may have more expertise than he or she has.
Yes, absolutely. And let me see. Let me address you. So, Ms. Yvette, I see your question. Is it true that having a will does not prevent probate? Absolutely. So let's say if the will is contested, then it has to go through probate. So you may have to ensure that when it comes to your home, like the deed can be transferred into the trust. So the trust can own it to avoid the probate process. But just having a will alone doesn't really prevent you from that probate process for your home. Does that make sense?
In addition,
Yeah.
in
I
addition, we
told that you can't do it because if you owe a mortgage, you couldn't do it. But Pauline is saying that's not correct.
Yeah, that's not correct. So, and I've worked with a couple of clients who have the attorneys. They are able to help with the deed transfer process, into that trust, even though they still have a mortgage balance on it. So that is not factual.
If I can take a minute to share this, we had the Register of Wills come to our office when I was still working for the state of Maryland. And one of the things they said is that there are a lot of myths that are out there. So it's very important to make sure that we get the right information that's going to move us forward and not keep us lost following those myths or fallacies, right? So one of the things that is there is that I personally started off with a will, and we were encouraged to have it registered with the state at the registrar's office, and that is just a follow-up in case anything is to happen. Most of the different legal entities that come up, that's one of the resources they have available where they go and do the search, right? Then the second thing is that I personally have a trust, and I've had multiple properties go through my trust with the mortgages, and you sell them off and you change them. That's with a revocable trust. I have not done a revocable one, irrevocable one, because that's like pretty much set in stone. So from personal experience, there's a lot of myths that are out there. And like Philip mentioned, we work with different companies on our platforms who have experienced attorneys. And since it's based out of the 50 states, it does not matter where you are. They always have somebody locally who works within their network that is able to assist individuals. So thank you for letting me share.
One of the things I do wanted to, we got to stay on top of this, because although me and my husband, we did what we thought was the best thing, which is after listening to Philip and Pauline, I think we need some more work to do. However, my daughter, my oldest daughter, was who we had set up. And unfortunately in 21, she passed away. So we now got to redo and rethink everything as we move forward. Any more
Sorry about the
questions?
passing of your daughter.
Yeah, it was an incredible year that year. My mom passed in April, my aunt passed in May, and my daughter passed in December. So a lot was going on, and I know I need to clean that up. Me and my husband talk about it every weekend. So we'll be talking, guys. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, we're here for you.
Yeah, and
Thank
Philip,
you for
maybe
being here for us.
if you want to put up the slide with our contact information, so that if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to us again. A lot of this information, like I said, is there's a lot of myths that are out there and fallacies. So it's very important to make sure that you have a credible source that you're working with. And sometimes we say Google is your friend, but they may not be telling you the most accurate information.
Oh yeah, it can make up some stuff. And you don't want to ask AI either, thinking it's going to give you all the right answers. So yeah, you need to talk to a human professional.
Yeah. And I'll just type my phone number in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss Pauline, you want to type your phone number?
I also want to just say thank you to Pauline and Philip. I truly appreciate you. Looking forward to meeting you in person one day.
Thank you very much for helping out. I think without your cool head, I think this money would have been it would have been something. So thank you so
Well,
much.
IT is also a challenge, but I've learned that it is the emotional intelligence that we must have at all times that helps us win through.
Yes.
I failed many times, and that's how I learned. So thank you.
Yeah.
so it's
Thank you.
our time, folks. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna get that generational and community wealth going here in Southern Maryland with the help of all the resources and the knowledge we have in this county. And we're exploring in and outside of the county for all the help that we can get to make this the life we're living and leaving one that we can all be happy and proud of. So if there's no additional questions, we can say goodbye. So Philip, you have any additional information?
No, we'll share the slides and we'll have our contact information. Um, I appreciate you for, giving us the opportunity to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So see everybody next time.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You too.